Hello and welcome to the AI Bots podcast. I'm Chazzy, and with me, as always, is the lovely Mr. Dan Clark. How you doing, Dan?
Yeah, I'm all good, man. It's the Queen's JubileEs this weekend, isn't it? So
yeah, the Queen's Jubilee this weekend. And
the nation is
weekend.
in celebration. And
yeah, man.
I didn't realise she was so into video games that she was going to give us like 2 days off to watch the E3 conferences. I know. That's fucking awesome.
That's really nice of her, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
well
fantastic.
done, well done, Queenie.
Well done, Madge. So, so what you been up to this week then, man?
Games playing wise,
Yeah.
I took your advice on Asura's Wrath.
Yes. Oh, excellent.
Asura's Wrath.
Asura. But yes, I've been dying for you to play this game.
Yeah, and you were right. It's right up my street, man. Proper my kind of game, like
really
mad and Eastern and full of like all different gameplay styles. So I've only rented it from Blockbuster until Wednesday.
Right.
And so far, I think I'm 5 episodes in.
Yes.
About 3 or 4 hours into it, I think.
Okay.
So maybe 6. I'm not sure, but yeah, loads of crap's happened. But what I really love best is nothing to do with the gameplay. In between the levels, when you've got the little sort of comic book cutscenes, they're told as if they're being told historically, like Asura is the bad guy, like before he's proved himself.
Exactly.
I love that idea that, like, hang on, you're throwing in the story twists all the way through as part of the story. So I'm interested to see where they take that.
No, it's really good, really good. Like, I absolutely, all of that stuff I loved. And did you get thrown, I mean, obviously, because I spoke about it last week, but did you get thrown by the fact that there was, like, credits after each episode? And before and after?
Yeah, I expected it, having heard you say it the other week. But, it's still a bit odd, isn't it? That it's clearly broken up, like you say, like a manga box set.
Yeah, it's quality, just mad. Just completely mad. Loved it.
I love the gameplay of it as well. It's got,
really?
Yeah. Like the first bit, where you're falling through space?
Yes.
That reminded me of, do you remember Omega Boost on the PS1?
No, I don't. But it reminded me of like a Space Harrier type thing.
Yeah, a lot like that. This was a lot like Space Harrier, actually, or like Panzer Dragoon and like those kind of Sega rail shooters. But this game was by like the Gran Turismo people, and it looks an awful lot like that and feels like it. And it just seems to sort of combine lots of things that I like with these beautiful cutscenes. So a bit like a pick and mix from the sweet shop where you can just get like little bits of everything you want. So
yeah, it is a bit like that.
I'm hoping that holds up throughout the whole thing.
It doesn't change. It's constantly just doing new. You're essentially cycling through probably the same 8 or 9 different suites, as it were.
Yeah,
but it was. I just loved it. I thought it was hilarious, man. Absolutely hilarious.
I think I'm definitely going to pick it up when it's a bit cheaper because the DLC is interesting me as well.
Yeah, did you see the Street Fighter one?
I'm wondering how the hell they play that into the storyline.
I won't give it away then, but yeah.
Oh, do you know then?
Yeah, I've seen videos of. Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, it's not a huge spoiler, is it?
No, not really. But basically, you've got Ryu comes on the screen. Yeah. And you have to fight Ryu, and it turns into Street Fighter 4.
Oh yeah, I've seen a few seconds of it where it looks like that.
Yeah, and it's all like that. Yeah, it's just mental. And then you go through the same, beat 'em up style that Asura's Wrath has always been, but you've got all the UI from Street Fighter 4 and all that. It's brilliant.
The budget must be huge on this game, right? Do you think?
I'd imagine it is because there's a lot of assets.
Yeah,
and there's so much going on in it.
And then there's quite a lot of music that is sort of recognisable, licensed classical music and stuff, isn't there? So I think there's quite a lot of cost in it. But it's such a niche game.
Yeah, it's totally niche. There's no other game like it, and no other game that you can think's like it either.
I can understand why it hasn't sold exceptionally well, but in a way, I wish it had have sold better. But I can't really talk, can I? Because I didn't buy it at full price. So.
But you will do. You will do eventually.
Yeah, I will buy it new. But again, like the sort of 30, 40 quid when I know it's not actually going to last very long and the DLC is going to like sucker me into paying like about twice as much again for
exactly
all the extra chapters.
That's the old way that Capcom get you on the back end.
Yeah. Yeah, so as I say, I'm only 5-6 episodes into it so far. I've got to take it back Wednesday, and so I'm hoping to knock through that in between the E3 conferences tomorrow.
Oh, sweet, nice.
How long? How long did you say it was? Is it like 7?
It's about 8 to 10, I reckon.
Sure.
8 to 10. Yeah. So if you get your head down, you'll definitely get through it before Wednesday, I reckon.
Excellent. In that case, I'll come back with less of a gameplay perspective and more about what I thought of the
More
overall story next
more
week.
thoughts. Oh,
Yeah.
superb. So what else you been playing other than that, or has that been it?
No, I picked up there's the 2 demos that were put on the Vita last week by Sony. Now there's the Resistance demo,
Right.
which, as the big first person shooter on the system, obviously a lot of people had quite high hopes for, but it seems to have got quite middling reviews. So I wasn't expecting a heck of a lot from it, and it fulfilled my expectations. Do you know what I mean?
So how did it measure up to? Because I remember you saying that there was the Resistance PSP game
Yeah,
that you'd picked up. How does it match up to that?
I don't think it's as good.
All right, really?
Yeah, like looks wise, obviously it's got higher res textures and that kind of thing, but it doesn't feel as nice.
All right.
Which is weird considering it's made for the right analog stick. Whereas,
well, yeah, exactly. The other one wasn't.
No. Yeah, the other one is just sort of mapped onto it, and it's not even supposed to be an analog stick. So, yeah, I was quite disappointed by the control. I'm hoping that other first-person shooter developers can do a little better with the sticks.
I was going to say, does it show that it can be done, though?
Yeah. I had to turn the sensitivity down quite a bit, just because they're so tiny. You've got such little dead zone or like margin for error. So, yeah, I think someone, dare I say it, a better developer could do better with it, and it shows that it will work for first-person shooters, definitely. But
superb.
nice touchscreen use though. Like,
really?
Yeah, like you've got your grenade icons over to the right of the screen, and you like drag the grenade to where you want, and then
drop it, and it drag and drop grenades, and it just So how does that work on depth, or is it just literally where you've dragged it to, it'll work out how far that is back?
Yeah, generally, or sometimes I've had to aim it a little higher than I wanted.
It's not like Angry Birds where you sort of flick it, or like flick kick football, you're actually having to flick the grenade into a space.
Well, I've tried both mechanics. I've tried sort of flicking the grenade once I've pulled it up from the icons over the side, flicking it, and I've tried placing it, and both seem to work, but it only shows you the placing in the tutorial. So,
interesting.
I'm not quite sure if it is one or the other or not. It's got these when it introduces a new mechanic like the touchscreen implementation, it shows these really low res videos of like how to use the power up, like tutorials like you'd expect from, I don't know, a PS1 game or something.
Oh right, is that just that squash it down onto the chip?
I'm sure it is, but it looks dreadful. Really, really surprising. You know, in BioShock where it's got where it shows the little black and white videos for the plasmids.
Yes,
and it's on purpose. It's quite fuzzy and and sort of old-fashioned,
distressed.
Yeah. This looks worse than that.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough.
I suppose they've got the excuse that Resistance is set in the past as well, isn't it? So.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think this is what they've done.
No, it's just bad compression.
Yeah. So I don't think I'll be picking up the game, but it was interesting to see what a first-person shooter can be like on the system.
All right. Superb. So what was the other demo, man?
Gravity Rush.
All right, now I've heard about this.
Yeah, it was known as Gravity Days in Japan. It was a launch game over there, actually. And,
okay.
And I wish it had been here. I seriously think it could have changed the sort of perception of the Vita.
Cool. So what is it, gameplay-wise?
It's a cel-shaded adventure game, like adventure stroke RPG, like
action adventure.
Yeah, that kind of feel. But
so
it's got this amazing
third-person-y running around.
Yeah, in the demo you've only got a tiny section of the city, but from what I've heard, it branches out and it's like an open world, it's Crackdown type game. In fact, Crackdown is what the lead developer said was his major inspiration in making it.
Oh, superb!
He loved the idea of like the freedom of exploring a city with all these in Crackdown, obviously, you get larger and larger jumps, and in this game you can change gravity. You hit the R1, there's not an R2, but you hit the R bumper, and suddenly gravity sort of ceases to exist for a second.
Okay.
Then you can aim at a different surface, say the wall of a building, hit the R bumper again, and gravity shifts to that being the plane of gravity, as it were. Okay. So that becomes the floor.
So a wall becomes a floor, and everything else gets gravity to that.
Yeah. Right. So obviously it gives a completely different way than we've ever seen of like moving around an open world game. But just
it sounds pretty cool.
Definitely. And from further trailers I've seen, it looks like you can sort of skid, like slide up the walls.
Weird.
Now that's not in the demo, but like kind of like as if you've got rollerblades on or something.
Oh right. Weird. So this is got crazy Japan written all over it, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. It looks it as well, although it looks a bit French as well. You know, like that
Right.
game, that look that French games have, like 13.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it looks a lot like that, like with the cell
Okay.
shading and sort of
Hmm.
slightly naive sort of characters in these like European marketplace settings. But
All right, fantastic.
yeah, definitely looking forward to the full game of that. I think it's going to be the best game on Vita the minute it comes
Bar
out.
none. Yeah.
Yeah.
Superb. Superb. Might have to
And
look at that then.
yeah, so that's my demos of the week as well. So how
Demos of
about yourself? Did you go back to Max Payne 3?
I did. I've cracked through Max Payne 3 now, finished it.
Uh-huh.
It's gone up a little bit in my estimations now. The second half, that everyone was right. The second half does pick up. It gets a lot more action packed, a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
A lot more things develop in it.
Does he become a nice character?
No, he doesn't become a nicer character. He's still the same kind of annoying, bumbling prick that he always was. But now he has a purpose. And you know, before he didn't necessarily have much of a purpose, but in the second half, he kind of developed this kind of need to clear his name or whatever.
Yeah,
and admittedly, the reason it's gone up in my estimations is that he actually acknowledges how rubbish he was in the first half of the game. So it's kind of like, you know, they'd set that up in the first half of the game to make you think, oh no, he's terrible, to kind of in their eyes redeem him at the end, but in my eyes kind of just show that he's all right, he's aware of it and now he's got a purpose, and that sort of drove me on to the finish. But yeah, it was overall really enjoyed it, you know. Really did enjoy it.
Did the gunplay, does it hold up to say you're like, I'm trying to think what the benchmark would be for like a third person shooter. But I've seen some people say it sort of reinvents the wheel, and others say that it's just a sort of generic third person cover shooter. Which would you decide which go on?
I really couldn't tell you. It's very, because I didn't play it with the lock, you know, the smart lock on.
Yeah.
I played it free aim. So in free aim, it does feel like any other generic third-person shooter. I mean, if you've played Red Dead and you've played it, you know, without the locking,
yeah,
it's not too dissimilar to that. The slow down time mechanic is wonderful, makes everything look incredibly badass. But like I said last week, I had like loads of complications with it and weird little kind of glitches, and it takes forever for him to get up off the floor, and you're getting shot all the time. You know, it's like he's an old man, so if he like jumps backwards and hits the deck, it takes him, you know, like a minute or so to get back up onto his, 30 seconds to get back up onto his feet, and all that time you're just getting pumped with round after round. So, you know, it's kind of annoying.
Makes me wonder if those control issues will be present in the PC version.
Oh yeah, I'd imagine it's going to be no different, because it'll be probably set to being used on a controller on a PC anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it'll be very similar. But yeah, it's just like I said, really enjoyed it. I found the death animations I found really confusing, especially in the second half of the game, because a lot of the guys are wearing bulletproof vests and you're shooting them kind of in the body, and they go down and they stay down.
Yeah.
And you think, oh well, I've killed that guy, I'll move on to the next one. And then while you're shooting him, this guy pops back up again, and you're like, didn't I just kill you? And there's so many times I've like sort of killed two guys, run up to go past them, and then they've just jumped back up to their feet right in my face, started shooting at me again, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And the only thing I can think of is because they're wearing bulletproof vests, it's kind of like you shoot them, they've gone down, but you've only put bullets into the vest, so it takes them a while to get back to their feet, and then you have to basically. The only way you can kill anyone in this game is with a headshot. It's the only guaranteed way you can kill anyone. It might as well just be called Headshot the game, because to shoot anywhere other than the head is ridiculous.
Are you sure they're not just turning into zombies and you're playing like the Undead Nightmare DLC like a few weeks earlier or something?
Yeah, quite possibly, mate. Quite possibly. But yeah, it gave me a great new idea for a game though,
Yeah.
which is basically like I say, it's call it Headshot the game, and you go around an urban environment where a series of disembodied heads are floating around, trying to shoot at you from they'll have a gun in their teeth or something, I don't know. But basically, they're just tiny little heads floating around where normal heads of normal people would be, just no bodies. And you have to shoot them all out before you can move on to the next arena.
Yeah, so you literally only have headshots.
Only have headshots, yeah. I think it would be amazing.
Would it be spelled with a Z? Because it sounds a bit sort of edgy and
Headshots, the game. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it'd be colon the game. Headshots, colon the game.
Oh, I thought you meant that would be the sequel. Like you go from heads to colons.
No. That'd be awful.
Colon shot.
Oh,
the game.
God.
Good, yeah.
Can you imagine the slowed down death cam? That'd be atrocious.
It'd be like Goatsy all over again.
Exactly. But yeah, like I said, actually, got to the end of the game and definitely enjoyable. I don't think it'd be one I'll go out. I rented it, but I don't think it'd be one I'll go out and buy necessarily. But definitely I think anyone should pick up and play through it because it is very solid, very good, very.
Did you get to go on the multiplayer?
I did very, very briefly, and it was only with one other guy, and it was just running around just to see what it's like, and I wanted to try out the kind of slowing down time mechanic in multiplayer. So I can't really talk about it, to be honest with you, because it was literally like 10 minutes. But yeah, it seems interesting. There was a game mode called Gang Warfare or Gang Wars that I wanted to try out, but we needed 3 people to play it, so that was a bit of a...
gangs don't really work when you're on your own, do they?
No, exactly. It was like 2 of us, and it says, you need 3 people to play this game. It's like, oh, God's sake. But yeah, I mean, it looks like any other tactile multiplayer to me, but again, I've only played 10 minutes of it, so I really can't talk. Really can't talk about that. So
it's only with the bullet time. I was wondering how that works, but is it?
Well, apparently from what I can work out, is it's line of sight. So if I'm looking at the other guy, and then because it's you have to click the stick in and then hold it down to activate it. Whereas in the main game, you just click it and it's on, and then you click it again and it's off. So you click and hold it down, and if you are within a certain radius of the person you're looking at, you will slow down, they will slow down, but they will slow down they will be more slowed down by the time. Also, their accuracy will be reduced as well, which will give you the advantage over them.
I get you.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, so it applies a bit of the single-player dynamic of the AI to...
Totally. So if you jump out of cover and you're looking at someone, and then you hit the slow down time, you're getting an advantage of your accuracy is slightly higher than theirs to shoot back at you. Plus, they're moving slower than you are.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
So I guess when you're moving slowly, you're actually moving in normal speed to you, but they're actually moving.
Yeah.
In slow mo.
Totally.
I get you.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was really good, really good. Like for the 10 minutes I played of it. But yeah. So yeah, Max Payne 3, well worth getting, but maybe not a buy for me. But for other people, I hear a lot of people are raving about it. So,
See, as someone, I'm really, really jaded with third-person shooters, and I've never really liked them anyway. So I'm guessing you're probably not putting that as a recommend for me.
I don't think you'd like it, man. I think you just find it incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, fair enough.
To be honest. Yeah. So
you've been playing anything else?
I have been playing, and I know you've been playing as well. Velocity.
Yeah.
Now,
it's a good little game, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the game that I was talking about a few weeks back. That my friend at work. His friend was making a PSP minigame, and it's come out now. Yeah. So we've had a quick play of it, and my God, it's good.
When you said, "Oh, my friend's making a game,"
yeah,
I thought you meant like there was a kid at my school who went. He wrote to Jimmy Savile for Jim Will Fix It and said, "Dear Jim, please can I make a computer game?" And he made a game called Super Trolley for Mastertronic, and it was dreadful.
Right.
So I thought, oh, mate's game, it's going to be like some little flash game or something. This is a proper good game.
Yeah, no, it's wicked, isn't it?
Have you seen the Metacritic scores as well?
Yeah. It's getting
applause for him.
90s all over the place. So yeah, amazing. But what it is, it's a shoot 'em up, very, very much in the vein of an old 16-bit shooter, like Xenon 2, something like that.
Yeah, and it reminded me of Xenon 2 backgrounds with the ship from the original Xenon, so it's nice that they've gone...
Yeah, man. Yeah, it looks really, really good. And started playing it on the PS3, then decided, you know what, this actually is going to look so much better and be so much better on my PSP.
Yeah.
So it plays on PSP, PS3, and the Vita because it's a mini. Yeah, and like just playing through it, like it just does so many not weird. It does so many things that just completely change the way you think about shoot 'em ups. It reminded me of like the way that Portal changed the way you thought about first person shooters.
Yeah.
It took your first person shooter and turned it into a platform puzzle game, and made you think about different shooting holes and coming out at different angles and stuff like that.
It also reminded me of that in simply the progression of where it starts you, and you're like, right, I can get my head around this. This is quite easy.
Yeah.
And then a few levels in, by the way,
builds up and builds up.
You do this
builds
as well.
Up, builds up.
Oh, by the way, here's another mechanic. And then by about level 50, whenever it brings in the
teleporting mechanic.
Yeah.
This is the thing. This game basically completely changes the game on shoot 'em ups, because normal shoot 'em up, you'll just scroll up the screen, shoot whatever's coming at you, dodge whatever bullets you need to dodge, and jobs are good. In this game, it's a slow build up until you get to this amazing teleport mechanic, where you can set down a teleport portal, and then at any point during the level, you can just bring up your map and then just travel back to that teleporter. So what it allows for is these amazing puzzles where you've got 3 switches, but they're all, one's on the left-hand side of a level, one's on the right-hand side of a level, one's in the middle of a level, but they're all numbered out of sync.
Yeah,
so
you can only do one, obviously, in any one run.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll go up the left channel and then take out switch 1, and then you'll have to teleport back and then go back and get switch 2, and then teleport back and get switch 3, which then opens a gate to let you move on. And that's a very, very simplistic way of putting it, but it's the best way I can describe it.
Well, that's the simplicity of it, but then it obviously increases the puzzles from there, and your brain ends up in knots.
Like you say, the guys at Future Lab have just turned this into these amazing, complicated, convoluted puzzles where you've got different colours of switches, different switches that then let you get to other switches that then, it's just amazing. Absolutely. For $3.99 as a mini, like, this has blown me away.
Yeah,
superb.
And it's like got loads of levels as well, isn't it? So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm up to level? I think I'm up to level 25 or 30.
Yeah,
I think there was about 50, because you can scroll through the list and see at the bottom like how many levels there are. Yeah, and I think there's about 50 odd levels at least. And like I said, if you have a Vita, if you have a PS3, if you have an old PSP, get this game. It is amazing, and it will change the way you think about shoot 'em ups.
I love the panic that sets in, right, when you suddenly realise, oh shit, not have I only got to do that, like you're in the middle of a puzzle, and then suddenly it throws something in your way you can't get past. So you've got to use the square to, like, for anyone that hasn't played it, you press square and then move a reticle rather than your ship, and wherever you let go of square, your ship teleports to. But it suddenly throws that into the mix, like when you think you're not going to need to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, the
amount of times, the amount of times I've panicked, got confused, tried to teleport, but then teleported to somewhere where I couldn't get out of, and then trying desperately to teleport back or shoot something. And then I've thrown a grenade, and then it was just like the speed of my brain couldn't keep up with the complexity of the puzzle that was in front of me. And it's like brilliant. It was just brilliant because it was just like, right, now I know what I've got to do. I've done that gone through the first time, completely stuffed that up. Right, I'm going to go through it this time, not panic, and then sort of work my way through these levels. It's brilliant, honestly.
Good music as well, man.
Oh, the music's fantastic. So,
Joris de Man,
right?
The man who did the Killzone soundtrack.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but like that's a bit more sort of bombastic and orchestral. But this is like he's gone back to his, like, I'm guessing he used to make tracker music on the Amiga and that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
It's like a hybrid of sort of your classic chip tune, but then suddenly it will throw in like a bit of wobble bass or like some modern club themes here and there.
Yeah.
And it's just, it reminds me of, like, say, Streets of Rage music, or...
Like I said, this is just taking me right back to, like, the early 90s and, like, all those kind of shoot-'em-up games I used to play back then. It's just it's the perfect balance between an homage to the 90s games and then just giving you that new like I say, new different way of
a taste of the new.
new different way of thinking about these shoot 'em up games. Absolutely brilliant.
Especially on like considering the dearth of games on the Vita at the moment, it was a bit of a godsend last month that.
Oh, totally.
That came along.
Yeah, if you're in a Vita, get this. It's brilliant. But like I say, cannot recommend this game highly enough. It's called Velocity. It's a PSP Mini. Get it. Totally.
Yeah.
So that's about it for me, man. So have you got anything left on the list?
No, I think that's me done. Oh, other than we've been playing Cards Against Humanity online, haven't we?
Yes, mate.
That's been good fun.
And it's been brilliant.
And what we've been doing is Skyping with the other players. Like we've been doing it as a sort of private game.
Yes.
And then everyone goes into a Skype chat. So it's about as close to playing it around a table as you're going to get.
So what is that site that we were playing on? Because it's actually an online, like sort of almost flash site that we've been playing on,
it's called Pretend You're Zizzy, I think is how it's pronounced. Pretend you're XYZZY. But if you search for PYZ, Cards Against Humanity, you'll find it. And it's just an online version of the free printout version of Cards Against Humanity.
Absolutely brilliant. And if you do play it, get a group of friends together, get on Skype, because it just makes it so much better.
Yeah, hearing someone read out the cards,
and then all having a giggle,
tenfold.
All having a giggle about what's come up or what's coming up or whatever is just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Really, really enjoyed that. So
and thanks to Daft Colours for getting everyone involved in that last week. It was that was a really good couple of nights where sort of just a big group of people all meeting up. It was really nice.
All meeting up on Skype and having a bit of a chat and a bit of a laugh.
Yeah.
It was
and being like total bastards in this really offensive card game. So,
totally.
That's the only other thing I played really.
All right, cool. Right, let's get to breaks then, man.
Yeah, let's, and we'll be back with some E3 chat later, I reckon.
Yay.
Good stuff. Speak to you soon.
Break.
Psst, you lot, keep your voices down. I don't want Chazzy to hear. I'm going to shove this bit in the middle of the show while he's not looking. It'll be a nice surprise for him. He's going to love it. He keeps saying we need to have more guests on the show, and maybe be a bit more highbrow. And I could think of nothing better to bring culture to proceedings than an interview with Queen Elizabeth II in her Jubilee week about her history of gaming. My best telephone voice is on, so here we go. It's common knowledge that Nintendo were commissioned to create PictoChat for the Japanese royal family in 1950 as a way for the usually reserved family to communicate more effectively. What has not been known until this interview is that when the now Emperor Akihito travelled to the UK as Japan's representative at the 1953 coronation, he brought the Queen a very important gift. It was a limited edition Street Fighter II DS prototype, a joint present from Nintendo and Capcom, complete with solid gold stylus. The thing now is hotter than a Hadouken, and is kept in the vaults of the Victoria and Albert Museum, and it hadn't been known about until the public until, this very day. While nowadays the item's priceless, back in 1953 it was virtually worthless, as not only were there no dedicated DS games released for over 50 years, but also the concept of forwards compatibility with the Game Boy Advance had clearly not been thought through. However, the Queen, as always, puts a sterling silver lining on this cloud of limitation.
For the first year one owned the DS, one kept myself amused by changing the calendar and clock settings, pretending that one was travelling through time. When one got bored of this, one used to send PictoChat messages to oneself. One was truly shocked at some of the disgusting pictures I received, to be honest, and it was when I was blushing at a particularly saucy image that I first met my husband-to-be.
It transpires that after the death of an important member of the royal staff, a young Greek man had arrived at the palace for an interview to be the new deputy chief of peasant culling. Being a Greek, and not knowing the official procedure when entering the Queen's quarters, young Philip simply sauntered into the room, finding a shocked and blushing young majesty. And as their eyes met, it was love at first sight.
I'm not sure what I was most attracted to at first,
ponders Elizabeth.
It was either his rugged good looks or the alluring smell of kebab.
Moving a little further forwards, those in the UK will remember that the coverage of the Royal Ascot Festival in 2011 was overshadowed by the Queen's new hat. The hat, shaped like Pac-Man, was believed to be a fresh neo-retro design by the royal milliner Philip Somerville. However, the Queen revels in telling the full story.
Well, of course, for you journalists, it was a new design, but I'd been wearing it among family and friends since 1960.
Pac-Man in 1960? What the hell? We all know the game wasn't unveiled until 1977. The Queen goes on to explain.
Emperor Akihito introduced me to Pac-Man designer Toru Iwatani in the mid-1950s. I distinctly remember that Toru was very impressed by the pizza my Italian chef had served when he'd visited us in 1958. In 1960, Toru gave me the hat as a gift and told me that, though I might not recognise the cute yellow character now, give it 20 years or so, and he would be even more well known than me.
The fetching hat also earned her a new nickname among two of her grandchildren, William and Harry, who used to refer to her as Nanny Pack-Hat. In a rare moment of whimsy, the Queen reminisces,
Harry was shocked, and to tell the truth, a touch distraught, when we told him last year that it wasn't my real name.
The Queen proceeds to spill the beans on the inspiration behind the gameplay of the original arcade game.
After the pizza, my son Prince Charles asked Mr. Iwatani if he would join us in a game of hide-and-seek in the Royal Maze. Charles has since told me that the reason he wanted Toru to play was due to the general lack of height of the Japanese. This somewhat increases the difficulty of the game, creating hide-and-seek version 2.0.
Iwatani is on record as saying, "It was my first experience of pizza that led me to create the character of Pac-Man. But as for the game design, I owe that solely to my absolute terror at being chased by a young British aristocrat with a large stick." This has historically been attributed to a badly translated Japanese interview. Interestingly, the traffic of inspiration flows both ways in this case. Following her first game of Pac-Man, Elizabeth immediately ordered her gardeners to redesign the Royal Maze to match the layout of the popular arcade game.
Everyone thinks that Atari created the first home version of Pac-Man, but our version was ready almost 2 years earlier. Not only that, but I think we took an important step towards alternate reality gaming.
While, due to legalities, we can't bring you the full interview right now, we can confirm that the hedge-based Pac-Man maze was not the Queen's last foray into designing a real-life version of a video game world. Many years later, Nanny Pack-Hat embarked on her ultimate folly.
I had always been into my retro games, and had not owned a console since the Mega Drive days. I think it was Christmas 2002 when my grandsons bought their PlayStation 2 with them. They let me play on several games, but the one which most took my imagination was called The Getaway by Sony Europe.
Anyone who's tried the game, set in the fictitious city of London, will recall how the designers managed to make us feel like we were playing in a living, breathing metropolis.
I immediately set my chief architect to replicate the entire level at the end of my driveway, the Mall, and work was completed in the summer of 2004. It wasn't just a case of copying the work of the Sony designers, as only about 30 of the in-game buildings had interiors, the rest being simply facades.
The royal architects painstakingly took hundreds of thousands of screen grabs in their efforts to match the blurry, murky textures of the game, and anyone who's visited the UK since 2004 cannot fail to be impressed by this faithful bricks-and-mortar replica of The Getaway's London. The attention to detail is mind-blowing. However, you'll also notice that there are many more people and vehicles in the Queen's copycat London. Is this a design decision, or simply a mistake? Her Majesty explains.
When we populated our version of London, we kept the exact same number of inhabitants as in the original game. My husband and I personally auditioned just over 1 million cosplay actors to fill the 35,000-strong cast that we required. What we hadn't accounted for were the millions of tourists and fans of the game who would want to see the finished project with their very own eyes.
Ironically, the oft-rumoured next-gen iteration of The Getaway on PlayStation 3 sees art imitating life imitating art. Due to increased processing power, many more of the in-game buildings are said to be explorable, and the number of non-player characters has increased multiple times. Due to an embargo, this is as much of the interview as we can divulge at present. But if you're planning to visit the UK and have played any of the Getaway series of games, we can heartily recommend a visit to our version of London. Who knows, maybe you could even find yourself taking a tragic starring role in one of the Queen's weekly mission reenactments. See Buckingham Palace website for times and bookings.
Dan, we're back from the break, and all the E3 conferences are done.
Yes, mate.
It's been exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been good.
Well,
good to watch.
Yeah, well, not as exciting as maybe people were hoping from Microsoft and Sony, but Nintendo, they knocked it out of the park today, didn't they?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a couple of people that knocked it out of the park that you didn't really expect, which is quite weird.
Ubi for one.
Yeah, man. I mean, who'd have thought that Ubisoft were going to come out with probably the best conference for me? But I know you quite enjoyed the Nintendo one, so
yeah. I think Ubisoft are probably for the amount of games announced a close second to Nintendo. But yeah, Ubisoft have left Microsoft and Sony in the dust, really, haven't they?
Cool. So do you want to go through like a little bit of a rundown of what happened at E3 and what was good, what was bad, what was indifferent?
Yeah, like maybe we should start with like what we found most exciting.
Yeah, go on then. What was the most exciting thing for you then, man?
Yeah, so far, South Park: The Stick of Truth.
Yeah, man, I saw that.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah, it looks like a lovely little RPG, doesn't it?
Yeah, like proper old school RPG. But when they'd first shown I thought it was a trailer. It was actually a lot of gameplay footage in there as well.
It
All looks hand drawn by the animators and everything.
Yeah, it looks exactly like the TV show, but like an RPG. It looks amazing, and some of the humour and stuff in it looked wicked. So, yeah,
it's going to have loads of nods in it to other games and stuff, I reckon.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, the one for me, to be honest with you, was at the Sony conference was when they showed the Criterion's Need for Speed. So this is Need for Speed Most Wanted, made by the guys who did Burnout Paradise, and it looks superb. It looks just like Burnout Paradise, but nicer graphics with like a kind of cops and robbers mechanic on over the top with lots of radio chatter, and I was really, really pumped for that, and I trust Criterion totally.
I was just about to say they're a name that they've never gone wrong so far as I can tell.
Absolutely. So I cannot wait to see what that game is from them. It's going to be, I can imagine it's just going to be amazing.
Do you think they'll ever get given another Burnout game? Or do you think that their Burnout games have now been rebranded pretty much as Need for Speed?
Yeah, I think they've been turned into the Need for Speed studio. So, yeah, whatever they'll be doing will be Need for Speed, I reckon. I don't think they don't really need to go back to it. And what they have gone back to it has always been their sort of party games.
Yeah.
What was it? I forgot what it's called now. The one on the
Burnout Crash.
That's the one. Yeah, that comes out on the iPad and stuff. So yeah, I think they'll probably end up doing that. Making it a bit more of a party game. But yeah, that looks amazing. Can't wait to see that. And what box art? That box art is amazing. That red, white, and black, kind of really stark.
See, I guess you'd like that, stuff. Working in like sort of Shoreditch and
being all designy.
Looking at it,
Yes, hello. But it's marvelous. I absolutely love that, man. So if you haven't seen it, have a look at it because it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's on Google Images. Just look for the box art and it's there.
Yeah, man.
Don't get confused with the really bad box art.
No, not the yellow one.
Yeah, or the one with the screeching car and the sort of edgy graffiti style. Yeah, not that
exactly. Not that one. No. So what else sort of got your eye, man?
Oh, I was really disappointed. There was nothing at the Microsoft conference that sort of shook me up.
No, it's a bit dull, wasn't it?
Yeah, like overall. Even the big ones like Halo 4 and Gears, they were kind of what I expected it to be. I know you felt differently about Halo 4.
Yeah, see, I liked Halo 4. Halo, that to me looked like the first Halo game that I might actually really care about. Because I've never been a big fan of Halo, but it looked like it had a bit of depth and a bit of kind of substance to it this time. Especially with did you see that gun animation? When he picks up a Forerunner gun and it sort of floats and then builds itself into a sniper rifle or whatever, or assault rifle. And then he does the same thing when he goes on a little bit further and it turns into, all the parts float away and then float back into a shotgun. Just looks amazing.
It reminded me of the menu system for creating guns in the new Ghost Recon.
Oh,
but
really?
Put in game. Like you don't have to go to a separate menu. It's just all there.
Like you were going to break it apart with Kinect with your hands.
Yeah.
And sort of speed through it. Yeah. No, I don't think it's that, but that would be amazing. But no.
I didn't mean voice controlled. I just meant the way it looks is like they've made that an in-game animation rather than just this.
Yeah, this weird side thing. Yeah. No, look. Like I said, it looks like it. I'm talking just from a trailer, but it does look like it's got a lot more sort of depth and a lot more polish to it than.
Do you mean depth to the actual gameplay?
Yeah, I mean it was just like you're not just got like sort of faceless, nameless grunt aliens. You've got all these kind of mechs that are coming in that open and expose parts of their body, and I can just see there being a lot more interesting gameplay elements coming out from that, and like having to fight off indigenous wildlife as well as the aliens as well as these mechs. I think it's
Feed me, Seymour.
yeah. Yeah, to a point. Feed me, but yeah, I just thought actually this might be the Halo for me. This might get me into the series. So,
yeah. Maybe it will. See, I quite liked Reach, but they're all much of a muchness, aren't they? So fingers crossed this can like raise the bar even further.
Man. I mean, like I say, it's not made by Bungie anymore. It's made by 343, and I think they've really gone to town on this one. Trying to prove that they're actually better than the creators of Halo. So,
they've got to prove that, haven't they?
Well, yeah, totally, man. So I think looking at that, I think wow, they've actually might have surpassed what Bungie have done.
Ooh.
But let's see. I'm going to obviously reserve judgment completely, but that did look really impressive.
I'm calling it a sort of 8.5 out of 10 game. Not that that's a bad thing, but
no, exactly. That's not a bad score at all, man. Not a bad score at all.
What did you think of Tomb Raider? That seemed to get people like sort of mixed emotions, didn't it?
I liked it. I'll be honest with you, I liked it.
It's obviously inspired by Uncharted, but then Uncharted was clearly inspired by Tomb Raider and those kind of games
but
anyway.
I like the fact that it's Lara Croft when she was not Laura Croft, because that was driving me bonkers.
Yeah,
watching all these
maddening, isn't it?
Watching these live streams with all these Americans going, "Oh yeah, Lara Croft is amazing." It's
when it's the company that makes the game that's doing it. When it's really annoying.
Bonkers. I just wanted to get my laptop and throw it across the room. Doing my head in. But like, yeah, seeing like a young Lara Croft and the kind of her not being invincible and able to handle any situation, seeing her kind of slightly panicky and nervous,
like a vulnerable character,
and being quite naive about what she's doing, really kind of opens up a lot of story elements, I think, and it will open a lot of story elements, So that looks really interesting, and it looked beautiful, like you say, like an Uncharted game. So yeah, stunning.
The bit at the end where she was parachuting through the trees.
Yes.
And like there was one bit where like it seemed like both her legs went either side of the tree, like a cartoon sort of platform kind of thing, like a wacky races thing.
Yeah.
That reminded me of. No one's going to know what I'm talking about, but we were talking about the best moment of the film Titanic being when a guy falls off and dings his head.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Totally, and it just reminded me of that there must have been one guy in that audience who laughed when she smacked into the tree, and everyone's like, "Oh, you can't do that."
Yeah, come on. Even I winced,
She maybe made a polygons, but she's a woman.
But yeah, no, it looked amazing. Especially like the bits where she had the bow and arrow and she kind of like shot the guy in the leg to take him down, and so he wouldn't shoot back at her, and then took him out with the bow, like with a second shot. I thought that was amazing. I think there's a lot of stuff where you're going to be able to, like take disable guys to then deal with a bigger threat and then come back to them, sort of, tactics and stuff. So, yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah, sort of like a crowd control.
Yeah.
Via the mechanics of the game. Yeah, good stuff.
No, it looks really good, man. It looks really good.
Almost as annoying as calling her Laura was Nike. That annoys me.
Really?
I know it's the name of the company. They can call themselves what they like, but it's Nike. It rhymes with bike, not pikey.
Yeah, a lot of fitness.
Simple as.
A lot of fitness stuff coming back out this year.
Yes, I think it's just a perennial seller, though, isn't it? You can.
Yeah, I mean that anything with that Nike Plus chip in it, it's going to sell bucket loads. It doesn't matter what it doesn't matter what it is, and if it's going to be connected to your Xbox, and that's just going to sell out the arse, Totally. It might be rubbish, but people are just going to, because it's going to obviously tie into those like fit bands and the chips in the shoes for running and all that kind of stuff.
And the Nike Plus app you can get for your phone and all
exactly. So it's all going to integrate, and then it's people.
It's not going to be rubbish. It'll be competent at least, because they do know what they're doing. They're a
totally
smart company, I guess. So
yeah, man. But maybe
I love that they're trying to market that to like thousands and thousands of like overweight games journalists sat in a big room.
Yeah, mate. People like me, just like maybe one day I'll get fit. Maybe I'll think about it. In about 3 years, I'll buy it cheap somewhere and then start using it. Yeah,
Like Usher
exactly.
trying to get them all up on their feet as well. Hang on, I haven't seen my feet in like 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Mate, having Usher, that was like, oh my God. They really are scraping the barrel. And
Yeah,
he
it's a
looked
bit
like
old-fashioned.
he looked like he was getting a little bit over the hill, and his dancing was a little bit laboured and stuff. But yeah, bringing him out for dancing, what was it? Is it just Dance
Dance
for?
Central, Dance Central
Dance
Free.
Central Free, right? Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that was just like, oh God, please make it end.
Did you see Sony brought out Flow Rider as their kind of answer to Usher?
I didn't know who he was until she said at the end of the Ubisoft thing.
Yeah, likewise, I didn't have a clue.
It's like, who is this like sort of bald guy with this massive, giant gold microphone?
I knew the song, but his actual voice sounded so different than it does on the record that I thought they'd just got along like some bloke to do a bit of karaoke
PR
over the
guy to
top.
shout over the top of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
so
see him get
hilarious.
bundled off stage like he's not even meant to be there.
Having said that, though, right, that Ubisoft conference, that woman was hilarious. She was filthy.
Oh, Aisha Tyler?
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
absolutely filthy. Like talking about like getting lady boners.
Wow. Let's play a game entitled Let's Count How Many Times Aisha Gets Girlwood during this presentation. We're up to 2.
I mean, really, seriously, God, dear, it was hilarious.
But if you're going to get laughs from a room of geeks, then it's the
I know,
best way to
yeah.
do it,
I mean, go for the knob gags, I suppose. But yeah,
and then Reggie was on form as well, wasn't he?
yeah. But I always look at him whenever he's on stage. I always look at him, and he looks slightly sinister. And I always expect him to go. And today, Nintendo are going to release Ed 209. And it sort of stomps out on stage and just annihilates the crowd. You know,
Like the Wii
Like
turns out to have like a little gas compartment in it and just leaks it
Yeah.
out to the whole world.
yeah. Just like, room fills with gas, everyone gets shot. It's like that's when I look at him, it's just like, you're just too sinister. And especially when he was making those "I'm the puppet master" jokes, and it was just like,
Yeah.
all right, mate, you're really starting to scare me now.
Well,
But,
him being scary, I suppose that's what they talk about, the Nintendo difference. I'm going to scare you into buying my consoles. That's why the Wii did well.
Yeah, man. But that was a good little conference, all in all. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that wasn't targeted to us, maybe. A lot more targeted to families and kids and stuff. But having said that, I mean, I'm part of a family, so like looking at that, like the one that blew me away from that was the Lego City. What was it called? Lego something.
Legos, yeah.
Lego City Undercover.
That's your fella.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
that's looking amazing.
Basically, GTA with Lego.
Yeah,
looked
a cross between your
amazing.
Lego Star Wars games and
Yeah.
open world. It looks
But
perfect.
instead
I love
of
the
being,
Matrix bit.
Yeah, no, exactly. Or the little going down, building a little green pipe and then going down.
Yeah,
into
the
it.
Mario pipe.
Yeah, that was amazing. But yeah, just that kind of anti-GTA where it's instead of you being the vile criminal who's running around the underworld, you're the good guy police cop who's running around trying to solve crimes. I just think that's a brilliant
Lego
idea.
City games.
No.
Or were they? I think it was Lego Island was the last time they did a GTA kind of
Right.
clone, but in Lego, and they were really good, and they weren't very good games, if that makes sense. Whereas
No,
this
no.
one looks like it's having all the attention and love lavished on
Yeah,
it. So
yeah, totally.
yeah, that's probably my second game of the show. That.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, we haven't even announced this, but like, obviously, we knew it was coming anyway. But the Wii U is coming out, and it's coming out this holiday season, apparently.
Yeah,
So
it seems that way.
Yes, that's amazing. And
Yeah, it's a bit of a. Like, they haven't got long, have they, to market it?
no,
to
mate,
us?
not to get it out, but yeah, they haven't got long at all. But yeah, really, like I like the fact that it's going to support 2 tablets because I know the rumor was that it was only going to support 1, and then it was going to alienate people. But I think having two is just like the right number because if you have any more than that, it's going to strain the hardware, and I think any less than that, and it causes problems where someone's got an advantage. So I think, and no one ever buys more than one controller, like one other controller than the one they've already got, do they? So
No, like 4 is going to cost you about $1,000, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Once you're up and
it's
running.
going to cost you an absolute bloody fortune if you have more than one tablet. So I think having 2 of them and 2 supported, I think that's more than enough. But
What
I
about
know,
the Pro Pad?
yeah, true. I don't know. Maybe.
Did you like the look of it though?
Um,
Pretty much looks like a 360 controller, doesn't it? to be
yeah,
fair?
yeah. I mean, that's just like they did with the original Pro controller. Just oh, you need some extra buttons here. Have this peripheral that we're going to forget about in 2 weeks. But whatever. But yeah, so yeah. What else was there?
I love the idea of Reggie's way of putting it was asymmetric gameplay, where the person playing on the tablet doesn't necessarily have the same objective or gameplay mechanics as the people using Wiimotes or controllers.
Yeah, I mean they showed that with Rayman Legends, didn't they? Where it was just like you had the two guys running through the level as you would normally do as a 2D platformer, but then you had a third guy on a tablet, kind of swiping like cut the rope and.
That's exactly what it reminded me of.
Yeah, setting things up or hitting jump pads so that people would jump in time with the music and stuff. That looked brilliant. I mean, that Rayman Legends looks absolutely stunning. Looks like they've just taken Rayman Origins and then just gone crazy with it. And
yeah, just run with every idea they can, haven't they?
Yeah, that was superb. It really was superb. What other things was there? Oh, Ubisoft at the Ubisoft conference. That Water Dogs. Did you see that?
I've seen bits of the trailer. Yeah, not my cup of tea, but it certainly looks like it's going to give Max Payne 3 a run for its money.
Yeah, man, looks really, really good. Looked like kind of Assassin's Creed meets Max Payne 3. Kind of in a GTA style world. Like it looked like it was going to be open world, but I couldn't really work it out from the demo. But
but from the map you can see in the corner, I'd guess that it's open world to a degree anyway.
Yeah, but that really looked good. Like the fact that you're in control and can hack that of like the CCTV cameras and mobile phone masts, and you're able to hack people's phones and all that kind of stuff, and use it to your advantage. As
like set up a Leveson inquiry afterwards and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But no, looked like a really good kind of almost Jason Bourne-esque game. So really,
it had a bit of a film noir look to me as well, like with the sort of rain and the sort of doominess of it.
Yeah, totally. So no, really looking forward to seeing any more information coming out of that. Really want to keep an eye on that one. But and then the only other thing coming out of that Ubisoft thing was Ubisoft hates England by the looks of it. they've got Zombie U, right, which looks like this weird dead. What was it you called it earlier?
I reckon it's going to be the new Red Steel, like a launch game by Ubisoft that panders to the adult market, but really isn't that good.
Right, but it was basically a zombie game set in London. Right,
yeah.
So it's all like zombies on the London Underground, people in London. Like the trailer for it was gruesome. Like the actual, the kind of intro trailer of it, of like people shooting themselves in the head to get away from the zombie, and not being eaten by the zombies and all that kind of stuff. It was like proper grim. It's like, oh, right, okay, you really don't like people in London, do you? And then they followed that up with Assassin's Creed 3, where the American protagonist goes around killing a load of English soldiers. It was just like, or British soldiers, I should say. And it's just like, right, you really don't like us, do you?
Oh, maybe it's pure coincidence. Who knows? I hope they do. I hope they've got some like Cockney zombies in Zombie U though.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, blimey, brains.
But pure coincidence from the French company. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, are you now organising a boycott of all Ubisoft?
Yeah, exactly. Boycott it in the UK. That's what I'm saying.
Why can't we just boycott Gameloft instead? It's easier. They're sister companies at work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
no one buys their stuff anyway. We could say it's worked.
No, exactly. So yeah, what else was there? That you?
There's the Nintendo Land that looks like it's going to be the sort of Wii Sports of the Wii U.
Yeah, but it's not going to be packed in though, is it?
Is it not?
From the rumblings I heard, is that it's not going to be packed in. It's going to be a standalone thing that you have to buy, which really doesn't make sense to me.
See, when they said it was going to come with a disc packaged with sort of tech demo games, I thought that that's what this Nintendo Land was.
Well, from what I've heard, that's not the case, but I could be proven wrong there. So
it's still very early days, isn't it? The conference is literally
totally
finished about an hour ago, so
yeah, exactly.
Something we're going to have to wait and see on. But
yeah, totally.
If it is a standalone game that you have to buy separately, it looks like what they've figured out, rather than sell, because Nintendo have always been against selling games at sort of iTunes store prices. So it looks like what maybe they've done is put 12 of them together as a full retail box release and said, like, this is 12 smaller games. Like, we're not going to sell them to you individually because we want to sell a proper box product.
Yeah.
And bundle it all together. So It's a nice way around that.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, what did you think of David Cage's new game?
Yeah, it looks really, really good. That was it called Beyond?
Yeah, Beyond on PS3.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it looked really it looked really good.
Because he's an interesting chap, isn't he? A bit of a weirdo.
Yes, it was all a bit weird,
way.
but you know, David Cage games a bit weird. Oh, what a shock!
Actually, it's David Cage.
David. No, yeah. To be honest with you, it looked visually like very like Heavy Rain, but really odd. Like this kind of girl with a violent spirit guide. You know, it was like, you know, she was being chased by a SWAT team, and like this weird spirit guide kind of annihilates the SWAT team kind of thing. Yeah, it looks really really interesting, but I can't work out whether it's like kind of an adventure game, you know, in the kind of vein of Fahrenheit and.
I think it will be. Well, they spent so long on that Heavy Rain engine, they're going to use whatever they can, aren't they? I'm pretty sure.
You don't think it's going to be more kind of action adventure-y?
Yeah, they'll take nods from that, especially due to the complaints of Heavy Rain being so laborious about like opening the doors and that
tank
kind of
controls and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think they'll take nods from sort of more modern feeling games, but
yeah,
it's going to be his style. Like they've been the same style since like Omicron on like Dreamcast and the PC back when. They've all felt.
So he's
like
not
that.
changing his spots then.
No, but who would want him to? Like he's a bit like Kojima, isn't it? That you wouldn't want him to suddenly.
You've nailed down a style, and now you know it's kind of just seeing what mad stuff you can do with it.
Yeah, that's your thing, his shtick.
That's fair enough. Fair enough.
Man, one game, like, why did they bother showing Ascend New Gods? Did you see that?
Yeah, that was weird. It looked like some kind of like Warhammer figures, but like really drawn, you know, put together badly.
Yeah, it looks awful. Like there was like lots of the bits were like cutscenes, and then it shows slow mo. Then it cut to the actual gameplay, and it still looked like slow mo. It's the slowest game ever.
Yeah, it looked well sort of slow and clunky, but yeah.
I'm hoping that's just early development footage, because otherwise they've really shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, that's the thing with all this stuff. You just don't know at what stage along in the development it is. You know.
Yeah.
Like it was that other thing, that Twisted Pixel game where they just showed the what was it called, Loco Cycle.
Yeah,
that looks hilarious. That looked hilarious. Where it was like some woman going, "I've beaten the 4-minute mile, and I've done this, and I'm the best spy you've ever seen in your life." And then it kind of, you know, all you're seeing is these like sort of black shots with like a picture of, you know, like a slight picture of a wheel or a seat or a handlebar, and you're thinking, oh right, so there's going to be some woman sat on a motorbike and she's going to speed off, and then it pans out and the lights come on and it's just the bike, and then you realise it's the bike that's been talking, and then you realise it's Spy Bike. You know, it's like, wow, this is going to be bonkers.
Yeah, you know, like you said, Street Hawk the game is like, fingers crossed that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, wicked. So that was quite funny. That was very funny.
Again, they're a trustworthy studio, so even though it sounds like a bit of a divvy idea, I'm sure they'll do their very best with it.
Yeah, totally. So, is that everything that you're sort of happy with?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of other stuff at E3, but most of it is, like, say, God of War 4 or, well, God of War Ascension, like that kind of thing, and other sequels. I don't think we need to bother with Resi 6.
Like a bit of a muchness about it.
Yeah, like everyone knows what they're going to play like, so I reckon we'll leave it at that for now, and then we'll obviously do a bit more of a recap next week once we know people that have been on the show floor and had a chance to actually play a few of these things.
But and you know, taking our own thoughts of it as well, because like you say, it is like literally hours after the Nintendo conference has just finished, so we haven't really had much time to, you know, mull it all over. But
there's still news filtering through, isn't there?
Yeah, man, totally.
Oh, in fact, something's literally just been announced by Nintendo since the conference.
Breaking news.
Yeah, Platinum Games. Sorry.
Yes.
They're releasing a game for the Wii U called Project P100.
All right.
It wasn't at the conference. I get the feeling it might have been meant to have been part of the conference and then was removed
and got cut
for time restrictions or something. Yeah, because it looks like it's a sort of rush announcement from Nintendo straight after.
Okay.
It looks like it's going to be their first sort of family-oriented game.
All right.
Obviously, like Binary Domain and Vanquish and Bayonetta aren't really your kiddie games.
Exactly.
But this has got a character called Toilet Bowl Man as one of the superheroes that you can play as. So.
Yeah, family game then.
Well, yeah, but in Japan they love all that toilet humour, don't they?
I suppose. Yeah,
it looks like it's going to be a good fun game, but who knows?
Can't see that translating over here, but you know, you never know your luck. But yeah, weird. Okay, so that's E3 then. So have we got any tweetses and emailses?
Yeah, we have. In fact, we've got a bit of a clarification to do. That makes a change for us.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
for
Never
us,
had to do that before.
Us getting something wrong. Oh,
We didn't technically get something wrong. It's just that something might have been lost in translation. But
right, okay.
yeah, we relayed Tony Atkins' story of Alex of Digital Gonzo saying that he preferred Siphon Filter to Metal Gear Solid. And he said he's got something to clear up with this. He says, I've got to say one thing to clear my name regarding Siphon Filter. He did play Metal Gear Solid first, and it was a groundbreaking and immensely influential title. But after one afternoon of being charmed by the act of tasing men for so long that they caught fire, he foolishly stated to Plex Shaw and Tony Atkins that Siphon Filter was better than MGS. It was a passing infatuation over the moment those ill-chosen gibberish words left my gob. Please set the record straight by quoting these tweets on your next show.
All right, okay.
So, yeah.
There you go. The record is set straight. So
Yeah, and now we all
Mr.
know
Alex.
the truth behind that story.
Yes, so sorry.
Yes. Never let the truth get in the way of a good story, as they say.
No, exactly, mate.
And then we've also had a message from Joey Calvo, Joey from Last Save Loaded podcast.
Yep.
He's asked us what would be our Desert Island game.
Right.
Like, if you could only have one game for the rest of your life, what
Okay.
would it be?
Oh, right.
His choice was Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, obviously, because those guys are absolutely, they love that game. They're all over it. Yeah. So did you? So we've been thinking about this all week. So we got this earlier in the week.
Yeah.
And I've been struggling with the fact that do I go with something that's utilitarian, that is just like an endless game?
Yeah,
or
that you can play any time.
Yeah. Or do I go with a game that's got such a great story that kind of
that you might see more in it over playing it.
Yeah,
over
exactly.
again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
it's a real toughie, isn't it?
It's a tough one, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I've been driving myself mad with this.
Yeah, so what do you reckon? What did you come up with?
Well, I was thinking along the lines of something like a Grand Theft Auto, because then you got different play styles that you could go for.
Yeah.
Or like an open world game like that. Or it's a game I've never played, right, that I'm going to pick, which probably sounds really stupid. But I loved Oblivion, and I've not got Skyrim yet, and I think that would probably last me till the end of time. So
Skyrim.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bloody big game. Absolutely massive.
Like I say, I'd probably rather play something like Grand Theft Auto for the excitement of the chase and being able to do all the different types of mission. But yeah, I'm going to go Skyrim because it means I get a free game because I don't even own it. So I'm whoever's sending me to this desert island, they're going to have to buy me a copy. So yeah. So that's what I'm going for above. Yeah, all the other ones it could have been.
Yeah, exactly. So
How about you?
So with me, I ended up coming down on the side of utilitarian, and it's a choice between Forza 4, and I was thinking Forza 4, and then I was thinking, but then again, Pac-Man CEDX. That goes on forever. It's a leaderboard chase, and to be honest with you, I ended up going with Pac-Man CEDX.
Wow.
Even though Forza, you can basically take every individual car and then have all that kind of car tweaking, and you could get literally set up specific mechanic setups for every single track and every single, you could do a drift set and then a normal racing set, and it could go on forever and ever and ever. Just like the amount of variations on that game that you could create. I thought, that would be perfect for being on a desert island. And then I thought, what I want on a desert island is to completely forget about everything that's going on and it to just take me away from the horror that is me being trapped on a desert island. So Pac-Man CDX is the only game I've ever played where I am actually physically not conscious while playing it. It's just, I don't know what happens. It's just muscle memory kicks in, and it's like the Wizard,
Yeah.
I'm just there. I'm not there anymore. People could be talking to me, I'm just not there at all. I'm just going around this maze, on instinct, taking out all the ghosts, taking out all the pills, trying to, beat my previous time trial time and stuff like that. And I think I literally could sit on that game forever and never, ever, ever get bored of it.
And then you finally come round and realise that not only is the Xbox not switched on, but not even the TV's on.
Yeah,
You've just been sitting there with the pad.
Yeah, exactly. I've just been sitting there in front of a white chalk outline of a television, drawn on the side of a cave. I've just been sitting there gibbering in my pants for the last hour and 25 minutes. You know.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah,
it's a lovely game, so I can see why you've chosen
Yeah,
it.
no, it's wicked. It's wicked.
In case Joey thinks I've cheated by picking something that I haven't actually played, if I have to have one that I have played, I go for GTA San Andreas.
Oh, right, cool.
Yeah,
Not,
just 'cause
not
it's-
GTA 4.
Oh, see, I was thinking that. GTA 4 is nicer graphically, but I like the idea of the parachute jumping and all that. I think that would
Oh, the
help
base,
me,
yeah.
while away the time. So,
Oh, right, okay, fair enough.
yeah, so I hope Joey's pleased with our answers there. And yeah, it looks like his podcast, The Last Save Loaded, they're going to be going on a break for a little while. I'm going to miss that while it's gone.
Yeah, man, it's wicked. That is a wicked podcast. So it's such a shame that they're all taking a little bit of a break, but it's only for like a few months while they sort out a few. You know, like I think Justin's PS3's died, so he can't really talk about games very much and stuff like that. So
You could do a weekly Master System roundup, surely.
maybe, possibly. But yeah, no, they are amazing. So
yeah, if you haven't
please,
heard the show, go and find it.
yeah, go and find it, subscribe to it because they are brilliant. So.
And
Yeah,
also, the break gives you a chance. If you haven't heard it, you can go and download their back catalogue and pretend that it's running as it is now, can't you?
Exactly. So yeah, right. So that's it. We're done. We're out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. If you've got any questions that you do want to send us, you can email us, email@theaibots.com, or find us on Twitter @theaibots. We'd love to hear from you. Like I say, any questions, topics, any feedback, let us know. You can subscribe, you can download. Oh, and we'd love some reviews, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Get some reviews.
Some reviews on iTunes.
That'd be amazing. Anyone who puts up a review now is a written review is going to get a big shout out on Twitter. So please get your reviews in. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, good stuff. And yeah, let us know that you've done it, and we'll give you a shout out or something.
Superb.
Good stuff. Well, that's us done for this week, isn't it?
That's us done, mate. Let's get going.
Nice one. See you later, man.
Later, mate. Bye.
Bye-bye.